Relationships are up so much right now. There's just so much discussion about relationships that we've been doing lately. We did an interview with a guy the other day and he talked about that. So we've been talking about relationships pretty much nonstop. For you, we want to say in general that when you think about romantic relationships, of course you will end up being in a relationship with one person typically at a time. But it does not mean that there's only one person who can bring a lot to your life and to whom you can bring a lot to his life. And you have to be really careful about assigning one face to these things. Whether it's a house, a job, a partner. The one face thing is something that's really shifting right now. Because the fixation on one face, the fixation, that's the shortcut for how we're saying it, but the fixation on one specific outcome doesn't serve you guys well. It really doesn't. The fixation needs to be about, I wish to have a awareness. I wish to have a connection. I wish to have a opening to knowing myself new. Knowing myself in a new way, expressing the 2011 version of me in relationship, in a new house, and etc., etc., etc. The idea of fixating on where's that one man, it needs to be released into a clarification that you wish to be in connection. And that connection you may get a little piece of it from your girlfriends, you may get a little piece of it from your pets, you may get a little piece of it from here and a little piece of it from there. And you may get a chunk from someone who might become a partner or someone you date or someone you meet on the street that day. We don't know if you heard, was it Wednesday's meeting that we talked a lot about relationships? We don't remember, but it was recently. That we talked a lot about relationships and the idea that you guys have really deep preconceived notions of what equals intimacy and what types of intimacy you should get out of certain relationships. And if you're not getting that kind of intimacy out of that relationship, it somehow invalidates it or makes it less than. That's where you want to be really careful, because when you start to have these fixations about what relationships mean without allowing the truth of that relationship to express itself to you, that's when you start to get a little tweaked. Also, because time is moving at a different rate, because energies are intensified, a lot of these relationships are being shortened. Now we know this is hard on your physical bodies and it's hard on your hearts, and it really, really messes with your preconceived notions of how relationships should be. However, it's true. Relationships can feel shorter. Doesn't mean they all will, but if you have a series of shorter relationships that give you the opportunity to express and learn the truth of you, don't be surprised. As difficult as trust us we know that is, this is a time of checking things off your list and cleaning up loose ends and finishing things up. And that can very, very often look like jobs that you move between very quickly, even places you live that you move between very quickly, and friendships and relationships that you move between very quickly. A relationship that might have taken 4 years can take, 5 days, these around now. Time has accelerated that fast. And you see it in your own growth, so you logically can expect to see it in relationships as well, we would hope. Your body isn't exactly sold on this idea, we understand. However, it's still going to happen. Okay. Go ahead, Mary. It's that time of the meeting where Mary has held her tongue for an hour and 7 minutes and she has something to say. She goes, a lot. She looks like a fish.
Well, I guess it's, if we really are just living from moment to moment. I mean, sometimes when some member of the council, does the, in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. And if we really are doing that, we're not looking at outcome. You're just staying right there in the moment, and then I have a feeling, holy cow, that is really the infinite moment, the all possibilities moment. Mm-hmm. And you decide whether you want to go sideways, forward, backward, whatever. doesn't really matter what the income is, outcome is, as long as you're enjoying or experiencing the moment.
Yeah.
Fully.
You're right, and that's all true, and your body does not understand how to live that way yet.
Yeah.
That's the crux point. And when you talk about love relationships and all the preconceived notions associated with them, it can take you to the mat.
Well, if you're trying to have the certainty of a long-term relationship.
Mm-hmm. Or the certainty of, I want to keep feeling this way.
Yeah.
You want to be in infinite possibilities, especially in these dynamics with partners. And the infinite possibilities is, this feeling I'm having with you is amazing, and we can have other feelings together, and I can have these sorts of, this level of intensity of feelings with others. We don't feel convinced that we can, we know we're not convincing your energetics and your physical forms about this yet. And we are just going to keep working on it with you, because this is where we're going. This is the Fred thing. This is the jumping time streams. This is the quantum living. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to not take our word on it, but recognize that we're in a process. We're in a process together. And this is one of the things that we're in process together about. Just like when we first brought up the idea that you all live in uncertainty, and that you know, we're in an uncertain world and we're going to get used to that, and everybody went, "Arr." It was a little hard for the first few weeks. Well, where we are right now in the process of this thing that Fred's got going is similar, in that your bodies are going, wait a second, I don't want to have all my relationships become completely different. And the truth of the matter is they're already all different, and you've been kind of in denial about it. So now we're going to work on how to not be in denial of it so that it can be harnessed for positive growth. And this is the same feeling that the girls had on Wednesday, where they were like, we know we're not explaining it well enough, because we can only explain the first couple little bits. And we think it was Randy that reminded us, step by step, step by step. Yeah, and it's even hard for us because we're used to being able to give you more of a blueprint. And here's a brand new idea that we can only give you step by step on. So we're learning right along with you how to help you know this new thing.
I can feel the truth of it. It's just a day-to-day living. Sometimes you just get wrapped up in the human stuff of it, and you just forget.
Yeah.
It's more of a, I guess we're just getting better at being, you know, present in the moment. That's really to me, that's really the kind of the key to it all. If you can really just be present, totally aware all the time, because that's really gigantic.
Well, you have to remember too that being present in the moment, like you're describing, is the most triggering to the survival instinct possible. Because the survival instinct wants to either be in the past where it didn't kill you, or be in the future where hopefully it won't kill you. In the moment, you could get killed, right? So imagine you're in sort of a death-defying situation, right? You're falling out of a plane with no parachute. The survival instinct's going to want to think about the past when you were still in the plane. Like, oh my God, how come we got out of the plane? If we hadn't wrestled with the bad guy, we wouldn't have fallen out, right? Or it's going to be in the future somehow trying to speculate how you could land without dying. It's not going to want to be in the moment experiencing, well, shit, I'm probably dead, so I may as well have fun on the way down doing somersaults, right? Not a chance. The survival instinct will avoid the moment with every inch of its ability, because the moment is the place where you actually could die. So it's the scariest place for the survival instinct.
It's so ironic.
And like the girls talked about, loving yourself isn't part of the survival instinct either, and that's a good reminder. It's not part of the survival instinct to love yourself. What good is that? Right? It's not part of the plan. So a lot of the things that we talk about are to confront the survival instinct's hold on you.